Good morning, afternoon, evening, noon, midnight, whenever you are watching this virtual Cub Scout Wolf Den meeting brought to you by the Waterloo District Boy Scouts of America Capital Area Council in Austin, Texas. My name is DeAnna Perry. I'm a Cub Master, and this is a den meeting for wolves, our second graders. As always, let's start off by doing our Pledge of Allegiance, our opening ceremony with the Scout-in-Law. If you don't have a flag, that's okay. I've got one right here you can look at. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. The Scout Law. The Scout Law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2. Well, wolves is always, you've got a great adventure going on here. Wolves always seem to have the most fun and the best adventures, and at the same time, you're learning a lot that's going to get you ahead in school and keep you ahead in school. And you may only be in the second grade, but you will be able, as many of my wolves already have, you'll be able to teach older kids the Scout Law and the Scout Oath and how to do it right, because you know how to do it and you understand what it means. Okay? Today, we're going to be doing something that when I ask people, what is your favorite subject in school? Almost everyone says science. A lot of people say reading. Even more people say math, because math, arithmetic, is something that is always a part of our lives, and it's something that is very important that you'll have to learn, not only for science, but just for day-to-day living. You're only in the second grade. It's never too late or too early to learn about counting, and that's what we're concentrating on today. One of your first projects and your first assignments, one of your first requirements, is to either make up a game by yourself or play another game with one of your family members. I'm going to show you a game that I really like a lot. If any of you have ever played Go Fish, okay? This game is called Go Fish Tins. Okay? I like it because it's something you don't have to have someone else to play with you, but it's more fun if you do. All I've done is I have taken, and be sure you check with your grown-ups to make sure it's okay that you do this. You're going to take a regular deck of cards, take out everything but the numbers. That means you're taking out the jokers, the king, the queen, the jacks, the aces. All of those cards are gone, so that all you have are cards with numbers on them. If you don't know how to shuffle, that's okay, because if you were playing this by yourself anyway, it's not that big a deal. I'm going to play this like I'm playing against you. I'm giving you 2 cards. I take 2 cards. your 2 cards, you'll see them before I do. Oh, you have a 7 and a 9. That's not 10. 7 and 9 is 16. Okay. My 2 cards were an 8 and a 5. I don't have 10 either. The goal of this game is to keep drawing cards until you get a combination that means both of your cards together make up 10. Not just 1 card, but 2 cards. Since you didn't have a 10 there, I'm drawing another card. That won't help you because it was a 7. That won't help you because it was a 9. That sure won't help you because that was only a 5. A 5 is half of the number we're looking for. I'm just drawing and drawing until I find, guess what? I am looking if you get 2 5s, that's okay, because you know that 5 and 5 equals 10. And just to save time, I went ahead and pulled out 2 cards that make a total of 10. Okay? That's a 4 and a 6. Okay? That's called Go Fish for 10s. Now, it's something, like I said, I've played this before by myself. All of you should know how to play a game called Solitaire. It's a game that you only play by yourself. This game might not seem like it's teaching you anything, but it's teaching you how to count. And counting is a very, very important part of your life. And it's something that all wolves are going to be concentrating on for this adventure. The first thing you're going to want to do is to think of 5 things that you do every day. And it can be something simple. Only this week, I'm going to ask you to count. How many times do you eat? Okay. Let's say you're eating cookies. Count how many cookies you eat. Okay. Let's say you are cleaning your room up and you're picking up clothes and putting them in the laundry hamper. Count how many shirts, shorts, whatever you're washing. After you've picked it up, you can count as you go along, or you can count when you're finished, either way. By doing this, it gets you in the habit of learning numbers and learning how to use numbers, because a lot of my Cub Scouts, math is their favorite subject. And it's usually because math is the subject that teaches you about how to count money. And there's not many people who don't like money. I know I sure like it. And I enjoy money because I like to count it, because you've got to count it to know how much you have to either pay your bill or to go buy something. And if you don't know how much money you have, you're going to be out of luck. Okay? And it should be something that it isn't just something to learn, it's something that can be fun. Now, there are 3 shapes that I want all of you to look both inside your house and outside your house. These are simple shapes. Okay? A circle, a triangle, a square, a rectangle. I drew some stars on there. This is a spiral. That's something that you will see in nature. In fact, all of these forms, all of these symbols are things that you will see in nature. Because think about it. Most people have round eyes. A lot of animals have round eyes. But there are more animals that have eyes that are more shaped like an egg or shaped like an almond nut. Okay? All of those are different shapes and symbols. And those are things that wolves need to be aware of so that they can keep up with what's going on in the world around them. I especially want you to be looking for different shapes that might be part of a bridge. Okay? Now, a bridge can just be two things sticking up and a flat board across it. But the bridges that we normally see, especially in the city, are going to be round bridges going up with round columns that hold them up. Just be more aware when you're out either in your neighborhood or going anywhere with your parents. Look around and see how many different shapes you can see. Now, the triangle shape, you might think, hey, that's not in nature. Think about it. There are a lot of trees and there are a lot of shrubs that are like a triangle. Okay? Triangles are also important because in traffic signs, they are usually warning you about some type of danger or something different, like road construction or a house being built, a sidewalk being repaired. They will put the signs up to warn you to be extra careful and don't go there because you don't want to fall into a hole, you don't want to trip into a hole, and you sure don't want to mess something else that other people have worked very hard to either build themselves or repair for someone else. And shapes are things that are everywhere, all around us all the time, okay? Our American flag is in the shape, not this small, but a lot bigger, the shape of a rectangle. A rectangle is pretty much just a box that's been stepped on and squished down, so that instead of 4 equal sides, there's 2 sides that are equal and 2 sides that are much longer, all put together. You've got yourself a rectangle. Keep your wolf eyes open. Look around and write down as many different things as you can that you can find inside your house that are any one of these shapes. And then once you have done that, you can figure out yourself, how would someone be able to make a bridge or build a bridge? If you've had Legos, you have probably built them yourselves. Any type of building blocks, you know what I'm talking about. And this is something that people who make buildings and schools especially, they design them, they're called architects. And that's a very important science, or we wouldn't have places to live or places to go shop. We wouldn't have houses to live in if people hadn't decided using these shapes and building them the way that the person buying the house wants it to be built. You want to be sure to keep all of your wolf eyes open. Write down what you see and how it's used. You'll find things in your kitchen, all of these items you'll be able to find without ever leaving your house. But look outside when you do, because you will find some more as you go along. Now, this is something that's kind of fun to do if you have a bag of candy. I don't have any candy, but I have coins in my pocket, okay? This is change, okay? They're all different. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sort them out. I'm going to put all of the quarters together. Then I'm going to find all of my nickels. They're pretty much the next biggest. Then I'm looking for my pennies. And last, I only have 2 of them, 2 dimes. Okay. Now, to be sure I did it right, I'm going back and double checking to make sure, and I did. I got a dime mixed in with my pennies. I'm taking it out, and putting it there. Let's say you have a bag of candy, like M&Ms, Skittles, Starburst. Sort them next time you get candy, which you might have gotten some candy from the holidays. If you don't, you will be getting candy sometime. The next time you get it, take it apart and count how many red ones, how many orange ones, how many green ones. Separate them, see what you have the most of. And I'm going to show you how to draw a graph. Now, on my graph, I only have 2 quarters. I have 3 dimes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 pennies. And 4 nickels. When you're drawing your graph, you want to start with what you have the most of. Now, not everyone's like this. It depends on which pocket I'm looking in. Okay. And you can use, if you have a ruler, that can help you make the lines straighter. If you don't have a ruler, you can use the edge of a book, a box, anything that's straight, and use it to draw a line. Okay. On one end, I'm going to put pennies, and then dimes, quarters, and nickels. Now on pennies, what did I say I had? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pennies. Since there's 6 pennies, I'm going to take my ruler and measure out, let's see, I'm going to measure 6 centimeters. Centimeters are kind of like inches, only they're smaller. So that goes out to 6 for pennies. On dimes, I only had 3 dimes, okay? On here, I'm going to find the 3rd centimeter mark. Mark it right there. That's how many dimes I have. When it comes to, well, I picked up nickels, so that's what I'm going to count. There's 4 nickels, so I go back down here. I find 4 centimeters. 4. Now last, I have quarters, and I only had 2 of those. Now this is not exactly a graph yet. This is just the marks I put on it to get the graph started. And I'm going to color this in. And this is a graph. This is something that you'll be learning about in school if you haven't already. It's a way to keep track of how much you have and what you have the most of. Since this line is longer, we know I've got more pennies. And then it goes down from there. Your job this week is to keep count of things. Like I said earlier, clothes you're picking up out of your room. You might want to keep count of how many pages you've been reading in your books or magazines and workbooks. That's counting, and that's an important thing to know how to do. Okay? Reading is important, but you'll notice on books there's always a number on the bottom of the page to let you know which page you're on and where you're at in the book. Okay? This is another fun activity that you should be working on doing. It's a different way to think and a different way to learn. The same way that we learn how to use sign language when we're doing the Scout Law and the Scout Oath. Okay? Everyone, I don't know if you know, but you should know your ABCs. There are 26 letters in the English alphabet. What I did was I wrote down every letter and I put a number next to the letter. This is like a secret code, only you have the answer right here. Okay? Now, if I wanted to spell my name, I'm Mrs. Perry. I'm going to look at my chart. First thing I'm going to find is P. P is 16. So I'm going to write my name in numbers. It's only my last name. Okay? P is 16. E is the second letter in my name, and it's the number 5. Then I have two R's together. R is 18. So I'm going to write 18 twice because I have two R's in my name. The last letter's a Y, number 25. Now, anyone who's looking at this, they might just look at that and think, those are numbers. What you're going to do is you're going to write your own name in numbers. Match them up and make them be together. Like this spells Perry, okay? Whatever, you can do your last name, your first name, or you can do both names, okay? And then I want you to send a message to someone. Since all of us have to stay at home, it's going to need to be someone who is inside your home with you. That is going to be one of the grown-ups that's in your home with you. Send them a message. You can just write smile in numbers. Whatever you want to write down, write a message to someone and give it to them. Now, since your parents might not know what the code is, you can show them how you wrote your name and how you learned it, and ask them if they will write you something back so that you can figure out what they wrote in numbers, and you can convert that and make it be what you want it to be. Okay? Since I hope all of you are reading and having a great time learning from home, you don't have to be in the school to learn. The same as you don't have to be inside a church to be reverent and to pray. Okay? You can learn everywhere that you are just by learning simple things like we've talked about today. I want everyone to keep their wolf ears open, to keep their eyes open. Please don't forget to go to waterloodistrict.org. Have your parents post what you're working on. Maybe if they've got pictures of what you've been doing, send it to us. Go to that website and you'll see pictures of what other scouts are doing during the summer, both older and younger. We're looking forward to having all of you back with us. We're looking forward to our next Den meeting. And thank everybody for being here this week. Happy scouting to everybody. Remember, stay strong. Be helpful. Especially be helpful. You are a much bigger help than you know to your family. Everyone's important, everyone's a piece of the family, and you want to make sure that you are doing more than your part because you are Cub Scouts. And that's the way Cub Scouts do it to get ready. Thank you, and I will see everyone next week. Bye.